They say the band plays on, no matter what. Tonight, that rule will be tested. It is April 14th, 1912. The air is freezing. The stars are bright and cruel. The unsinkable ship is groaning in pain. Beneath my feet, the deck is tilting. Around me, the world is screaming. But I have my violin, I have my bow, and I have a promise to keep. We will play until the ocean takes us. April 14th, 1912, 11:40 p.m. I was just packing away my violin in the first-class lounge. The night was ending. Then, a shudder. Deep, grinding vibration. It wasn't a crash, but a scrape, like a giant finger running along the side of the ship. The crystal chandelier above me tinkled softly, glass chiming. I looked at Wallace, our band leader. He frowned. "Probably just a propeller blade," he said, but his eyes said something else. April 15th, 1912, 12:15 a.m. The stewards are knocking on doors. Lifebelts on, everyone on deck. Hurried footsteps, muffled shouts. The atmosphere has changed. The smell of fear is starting to mix with the smell of cigar smoke. Wallace gathered us together. "Gentlemen," he said, straightening his bow tie, "there is panic rising. They need us. Grab your instruments. We are going to the boat deck." 12:30 a.m. We set up our stands near the entrance of the grand staircase. It is freezing out here. The breath smokes from my lips. Violin tuning sounds, plucking strings. My fingers feel stiff in the cold air. I look at the crowd. Women clutching pearls, men looking confused. They are scared. They need something familiar. "Alexander's Ragtime Band," Wallace commands. "Upbeat. Keep it lively." I nod. I place the violin under my chin. The wood feels cold against my jaw. 1:45 a.m. Lively ragtime music starts playing. Violin, cello. We play. The cheerful notes bounce off the steel walls, fighting against the growing noise of steam venting from the funnels. Loud hissing of steam. It feels surreal. We are playing happy music while the lifeboats are being uncovered. A woman stops crying for a second to listen. A child claps his hands. It is working. For a moment, the nightmare is held back by the melody. 1 a.m. But I can feel it. The slant. The deck is not level anymore. Creaking of metal. I have to shift my weight to keep my balance. The piano is sliding slightly on the floor. I look over the railing. The black water is closer than it was 10 minutes ago. Much closer. I keep playing, but my heart is pounding a different rhythm. A rhythm of doom. April 15th, 1912, 1:15 a.m. The tilt is worse now. It feels like standing on a hillside. The cheerful ragtime music feels wrong, like laughing at a funeral. Wallace signals a change. "Something softer," he whispers. "A waltz." We switch to the blue Danube. Waltz music begins, slower, elegant. The melody floats over the screaming crowd. I see officers forming human chains around the boats. "Women and children only," an officer shouts. Gunshot in the air. A warning shot. The crowd flinches. I miss a note on my violin, a screech of the bow. I quickly correct it. I must not falter. 1:30 a.m. I watch a man kiss his wife goodbye. He places a thick fur coat around her shoulders. "I'll take the next boat, darling," he lies. I can see the lie in his eyes. She knows it too. She clutches his hand until the sailors pull her away, sobbing and screaming. I close my eyes for a second. The music is the only dignity left in this chaos. It is a soundtrack to 1,000 heartbreaks. My fingers are numb, not just from the cold, but from the sorrow I am witnessing. 1:40 a.m. A distress flare shoots up into the sky. Whoosh! Bang! It explodes in a brilliant white star illuminating the dark ocean for a few seconds. In that light, I see them, the lifeboats, tiny wooden shells rowing away into the blackness. They look so small against the vast Atlantic. Some are half empty. "Come back," a voice screams from the deck below. "There's room for more." But they don't come back. The oars keep dipping. Splash, splash. They are rowing away from the monster that is dying. 15 to 2. The water is creeping up the stairs now. I can hear it lapping against the wood. Slosh, slosh. It is a gentle sound, terrifyingly calm. A young man runs past us, eyes wide with terror. He stops, looks at us playing, and freezes. For a moment, he just listens. Then he nods at me, a small, sad acknowledgement, and runs towards the stern. We are not just musicians anymore. We are priests. We are giving them their last rites in D major. 2 a.m. The bow is going under. Clark, the bassist, mutters. He doesn't stop playing. I look forward. The front of the ship is gone, swallowed by the sea. The stern is rising higher, lifting us towards the stars. Gravity is pulling at my feet. The music stands have toppled over. Clatter of metal. We don't need the sheet music. We know these songs by heart. The end is coming. April 15th, 1912, 2:05 a.m. The deck is now too steep to stand on without holding on to something. Sound of furniture sliding and crashing. People are sliding past us, screaming, grabbing at railings. The chaos is absolute. The lights flicker, once, twice, then dim to a dull orange glow. The power is dying. Wallace taps his bow against his violin. Tap, tap. We stop playing. The sudden absence of music reveals the true sound of the tragedy, a roar of water and human terror. It is deafening. 2:10 a.m. Wallace looks at us. His face is pale, but his eyes are calm. He smiles, a sad, weary smile. "Gentlemen," he says, his voice cutting through the noise, "I don't think they are listening anymore." He looks at the lifeboats far out in the dark. Then he looks at us. "You may go," he says. "Grab a lifebelt. Save yourselves. The duty is done." None of us move. Clark tightens his grip on his bass. I rest my chin on my violin. We all know there are no lifebelts left. We all know there is nowhere to go. We stay. 2:12 a.m. "Very well," Wallace whispers. He raises his violin. "One last song, then, for us?" He doesn't need to name it. We know which one. He draws his bow across the strings. Solemn, slow violin melody begins. "Nearer, my God, to thee." The notes are long and mournful. It is a hymn of surrender. Cello joins in, deep and low. "Nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer to thee." The music drifts over the slanted deck. A few people near us stop screaming. They fall to their knees, clasping their hands in prayer. 2:15 a.m. "Gentlemen, it has been a privilege playing with you tonight," I whisper to the man beside me. He nods, tears streaming down his frozen cheeks. The water is here. I feel it washing over the soles of my shoes. Icy water sloshing. It is so cold it burns. But I keep playing, e'en though it be a cross that raiseth me. The ship groans, a deep metallic scream from the hull. The angle increases. We lean back against the wall of the deckhouse to stay upright. 2:17 a.m. The lights flicker again. Buzzing sound of electricity failing. The melody rises, desperate and beautiful. It is our plea to the heavens. I close my eyes. I picture my home, my mother's garden, the smell of warm bread. I play for them. I play for the souls trapped below decks. I play for the silence that is coming. April 15th, 1912. 2:18 a.m. The water rises suddenly, a surge of black foam. It knocks the cello from Clark's hands. Splash! The music stops abruptly, not with a finale, but with a gasp. I clutch my violin to my chest, holding it like a child. We lose our footing. We are no longer a band. We are just men trying to breathe. "Hold on!" Wallace shouts, but his voice is swallowed by the roar of escaping steam, loud hissing and screaming. 2:19 a.m. The lights flicker one last time, a bright, blinding flash, and then they die. Total darkness. The only light comes from the stars and the faint glow of the distress flares far away. The screams in the dark are terrifying. It sounds like the whole world is crying out in pain. I grab onto a railing, my knuckles white. The ship tilts steeper, almost vertical. I'm hanging on for dear life. 2:20 a.m. Then comes the sound. It starts deep in the bowels of the ship, a groan that vibrates through the steel and into my bones. Then a deafening crack, sound of massive metal tearing and twisting. It sounds like thunder, like cannons, like the earth splitting open. The ship is tearing itself apart. The stern, where we are, crashes back down onto the water for a moment. Huge splash. The impact throws me against the wall. Pain shoots through my shoulder. 2:21 a.m. The stern rises again, vertical this time. I can't hold on. My fingers slip from the wet railing. I fall. I tumble through the dark air. Splash! I hit the water. The cold is instant and paralyzing. It feels like 1,000 knives stabbing every inch of my skin. Gasping for air, it punches the air out of my lungs. I go under. The water is black, churning, and full of debris. I kick frantically, fighting the suction of the sinking giant. 2:25 a.m. I break the surface, gasping, choking on salt water, coughing, spluttering. My lifebelt keeps me afloat, but the cold is already seeping into my heart. I look up. The stern of the Titanic is towering over us like a black monolith against the stars. It pauses for a second, as if hesitating, and then, slowly, majestically, it slides down into the abyss. Glug, glug, whoosh. The ship is gone. We are alone in the middle of the Atlantic. April 15th, 1912, 2:30 a.m. The ship is gone. Now there is only the people's soup. Hundreds of voices screaming, praying, calling for help in the dark. Cries and wails echoing. It is a sound that will haunt history. I am drifting on my back. My legs are useless, frozen stiff. I clutch my violin case. It is floating beside me, bobbing in the black swells. It is the only friend I have left. 2:45 a.m. The screaming is quieting down, not because they are saved, but because the cold is taking them. One by one, the voices are silenced, fading cries. The silence is creeping in, louder than the noise ever was. I try to paddle, but my arms feel like lead. I look up at the sky. The stars are so bright, so indifferent. They look like diamonds scattered on black velvet, beautiful and cold. 3 a.m. A strange warmth is spreading through my chest. I know it is a lie. It is the end. I stop shivering. The pain is gone. I feel sleepy. "Wallace," I whisper. My voice is just a croak. "Are we ready for the next number?" I see him in the water near me, or maybe it's just a piece of debris, but in my mind he is raising his baton. 1, 2, 3. 3:10 a.m. I close my eyes. I am back in the lounge. It is warm. The chandelier is glowing. The passengers are clapping. I can hear the music. Not the screams, but the music. It plays in my head, sweet and eternal. Violin solo playing softly in reverb or echo. I hug my violin case tighter, nearer, my God, to thee. 3:20 a.m. My hand relaxes, my grip loosens. I drift. The ocean cradles me. I am no longer cold. I am just floating. The water is a dark blanket, pulling me down into a dreamless sleep. Exhale. Silence. Just the gentle lapping of water against the lifebelt. Outro. Whispered. The Atlantic claimed over 1,500 souls that night, among them 8 musicians who played until the very end. Their bodies were recovered, but their music was lost to the deep. They did not just play songs, they played courage. Rest in peace, gentlemen. The concert is over.